Happy Friday, Pulsakins. How are we doing today? Guys, I am super pumped today. Feeling great, feeling high on life, loving everything about my life, loving you guys, loving the community. It's an awesome day out here in Puerto Rico, having an amazing time, just chilling with you guys and improving our lives every single day, 1% at a time, spiritually, mentally, physically, financially. And we are doing our best to bridge the gap between real estate entrepreneurs, cryptocurrency investors, where we can use crypto as that wealth creation tool and use real estate as a wealth preservation tool, bringing these two assets together and change the trajectory of our family tree and break that curse of mediocrity. That's what we're here for. That's what this show's about. That's the journey we are on, and it's been just an absolute blast. I'm having a good time, feeling good, guys. I am really this year, I have made it my focus to dial in on my health, and I am smashing it. As far as the blood work is concerned, as all my metrics are concerned, I am having just an absolute blast doing it. And I might, 1% better. I think I might end up being 10%, 20% better by the time the end of the year comes on my health. So it's awesome. So, guys, today is your show. This is the Open Mic Friday. Our resolve, I should have put our resolve, not my resolve. Our resolve will not be shaken out because I know you guys here have the mental fortitude, what it takes to be a long-term cryptocurrency investor to have success, right? And this is why we're all here. This is what we're doing. But let me drop, where I find it, there it is. Let me drop the StreamYard link so you guys can come in, talk about anything you want, anything money, anything, crypto, of course. We love crypto. I love crypto. It's my passion. Anything, real estate, anything health right now, which is a lot of fun for me. I'm having a blast doing it. And anything else. I love it, guys. So here is the link. Come one, come all. Once again, this is your guys' show. My stream is lagging. Let me make sure I'm on the right Wi-Fi. I am. Okay, Elon, get your shit together. I'm on the Starlink, so it should be okay. I'm going to drop this in the chat. And while you guys are coming on, we want to check in with the secret chart. That's the real reason why you guys are here. I know that. And this is how we know we're still at the right place at the right time. And then we're just buying our time. So let me go ahead and present my screen real quick. And here we go. Here we go. And guys, it looks like, let me widen this a little bit so we can get a full picture. There we go. Guys, I mean, I don't know what else proof you need. This is Pulse measured in Ethereum. If I've ever seen a bottoming, I don't know, man. This is like pure capitulation, bottom, run sideways, like, all we need from here, guys, is some market structure to break us out. Like, and obviously, the longer we go in this sideways capitulation zone, the more parabolic the move could be. I learned that from Hans, right? Like, the longer we're down here in these depressed areas and we run sideways, the bigger the move on the opposite end. And so, yeah, look at this. It's been down here. And I know we've done this before, but it's great to check in on it. Since May, the end of May, it's when it kind of got down here, right? So that's the 5th month. Yeah, May, I had to count, make sure I'm accurate. All the way here, man, to September. And I believe, we could get out here in October, even maybe November, and just that's a beautiful flattening sideways. Look how small the candles are, guys. Let me kind of zoom in. Look how small these candles are in comparison to all this price action, right? Like, it's crazy. That is capitulation at its finest. And that's what we care about, guys. What we care is, how is our ecosystem measured against Ethereum? If you believe Ethereum is going to go and do a 3x, 5x, 10x. Well, I mean, this is all we need to know. This is it. And this is pretty solid proof for me. We just need to see some structure, like a breakout structure, like a W, something like that. And this is on the daily here, guys. I mean, this is like, man, I would love like somewhere in, you know, the end of the month or maybe October, we start to see some W's print and starting to get ready for that breakout. And if not, man, the longer we run sideways, the better. So I mean, this is awesome, guys. I love to keep checking in on this because this what helps keep my resolve, right? Let me know that I'm in the right asset, that I'm investing my dollars in the right place, right? And this is one of the clues to the puzzle. That's all it is. It's just you have this big puzzle and you got to go find these clues and put them together and take a step back and look at the greater picture. This is one of them. I mean, I can't see a better setup. I just don't know, guys. Like anybody who starts fudding on Pulse on Twitter, you can just shove this price chart down their throat. Okay. I mean, literally, that's how I feel about that. But you know, all right. We got Norbert in here, guys. I want all you guys to come on. This is your show. Let's wrap everything about Pulse Chain, about money, about real estate, whatever you want to do. But man, Norbert, what is up? Good man. How are you doing today? How you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good, man. Thank you for
Are you
asking.
extra bald today? Is that what is that? I feel like you're extra bald, more bald than normal. I don't know. It could be just me.
Yeah, probably I cut it shorter than usual.
Okay,
So,
okay. That's a bottom
yeah,
signal.
from here you can only slide
Yeah.
as
Oh,
soon as you hit it.
I love it, man. I love it. What's going on in your world, brother?
I'm chilling at the airport. Unfortunately, my flight was canceled yesterday. Was trying to get to Zurich, my favorite place on earth,
Where to?
Switzerland.
Say again.
Switzerland.
Oh man, I would love to go. I've never been. I want to ski the Swiss Alps.
When you wanna come, just tell me and we organize it. I have people over there. You know, we
Really?
can. Yeah. I'm going to
Serious?
see them now. I might move there actually. I'm thinking of moving there.
Really? Have you skied the Swiss Alps?
No, Mister, no. I don't want to do those things. It's out of your control, and then you heard these things which are extremely variable. Otherwise, I can't trade with my nose. You know.
Are you afraid you can't push the buttons for crypto? Is that why?
No, for crypto for trading, but yeah.
Okay. Oh man, yeah, I would love to visit. I got one friend out there from when I was in music college in my early 20s, and he's from Switzerland, and I would love to go visit him, and then of course, you know, see the country, go ski the Swiss Alps, and man, I would love that, dude. It'd be awesome.
Yeah,
Take a
it's
bunch of pictures.
breathtaking. It's breathtaking.
Take a bunch of pictures for me. That'd be great
Yeah,
to
I will. Oh, Frank is here.
Frank Conversations. That's who we
What's
got.
happening?
Frank Conversations. I
You're
love it.
thinking about moving to Switzerland?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Cool.
That's
That
the
is
plan.
cool.
It's a beautiful, and if I need to describe it in a few words, it's a fair country, it's a safe and prosperous place on earth. Like in 3 words, if I need to describe Switzerland,
Yeah.
fair,
Yeah.
prosperous, and safe. You know, like you don't need anything else.
They stay
You don't need
neutral
anything.
on everything, which is great. Like they don't go and start fights or try to finish fights. They don't, you know, they just like, hey, you guys go and do your bullshit. We're gonna chill back and grow an economy.
And they care about a lot of things. That's why that's what
Yeah.
I admire about them. Because here in the UK, I started noticing that people don't care anymore. You know, like it's, whatever. You know, like it's okay. You know, like this Spanish kind of mañana kind of mentality, or not even mañana, maybe like next year.
Yeah, man, that's great, dude. Yeah, take a bunch of pictures for us. Are your friends that you visit out there, are they onboarded into crypto?
That guy, no, he did his own exploration about he was more into like NFTs, and they've done like a release of stamps, postal stamps, and then you could order these digital assets, and you didn't know what you're gonna get. And some of them was extremely rare, and some of them was like widely known. So you get the physical stamp, and then you get a digital NFT as well. And some of them was pretty valuable, but yeah, it didn't work out for him either. We both like 80% down on our portfolio, and so yeah, it's
That's the last. That's the last category to move too, is the NFTs, right?
Last cycle was
Yeah.
that
So-
we know.
the thing is, I see a lot of potential in NFTs, but right now it's just not being fully utilized, let's say. Because if you think about it, how much unnecessary paperwork and time and lawyers and whatever can be stored on an NFT. And if that NFT is yours, that can be a proof that it is mine. It can be a property, a car, land, whatever.
Sure.
So
Does anybody know what the NFT that sold for $80 million? What was it? There was an NFT.
People?
What was
That-
it?
I think you're talking
People.
about the
Yeah.
people NFT. It was a piece of artwork. I think it sold for like 60. I think it was like 66 million or something like that.
What's
in
it
the
worth now?
Who knows?
I'm just
Maybe
curious.
600.
Right.
I don't know. That was the top of the last bull. I remember when that happened. It was insane, man. That you want to talk about euphoria? That was euphoria right there.
What's up, Zenith?
Zenith, what's up, bro? How you doing, man?
Good
Welcome
to see
on.
everybody. Yeah.
Hi,
It's a nice
Zane.
early Friday morning, so we got the coffee going.
Yeah, I already had some coffee earlier today with my MCT oil. It's always really good to add in there if you want a little extra on the kick part. And it's good for the brain too.
What is the MCT oil?
MCT oil is derived from coconuts, and it actually helps like the brain repair itself. Like it helps prevent dementia, stuff like that. But it also has a little bit of a kick to it, where like caffeine, right? But it doesn't have the down part of caffeine has. And so it's just an oil, and you add it right into your coffee. What's great is if you're intermittent fasting, it doesn't break your fast. None of this coffee. So that they're great together for the morning and your intermittent fasting, which I do. And yeah, man, I take that and then I go hit the gym. And then after the gym, then it's, I wait an hour and then I do my protein shake, protein with creatine. And then my wife's about to bring me my liver cleanse shake here in a minute. I'm hitting it hard this year, man. I've been hitting it hard all year and I'm going to continue doing it. This is the year for health for me, man. I mean, since crypto's in the shitter, I might as well work on something.
Oh,
Well,
I hear
you know
ya. I'm on the creatine and protein grind as well. Ever
Yeah.
since I broke my ankle a few years ago and had to get surgery. I did that skiing, by the way. So sadly not as much
I love
skiing as
skiing,
I done.
man.
you see, you don't want to do those
Norbert, I've
activities.
been
That's for
skiing.
sure.
Norbert, I've been skiing since I've been 8 years old. I ski Black Hills. Like I'm like my dad took me when I was very young, and like I have knock on wood. Let me find some wood around here, but
I got
Like-
some here.
all right, I have not broken anything yet. Yes, I've sprained. I have I've hurt myself, bruised myself really bad. Like, but I have yet to broken a bone skiing yet, and it could happen one day. It's fine, and I'm okay with that. Hey, man, there is no risk without reward, man. The reward is the rush and the adrenaline that you get, and the beautiful of nature of being up there in the mountains. It's surreal, man. And that's how life works. No reward without risk.
Yeah, that's true. But you are in a different position compared to me because you're a retired multimillionaire. Yeah, I'm not. So if I break any of my hand or legs or whatever, no one's gonna pay me shit, man.
I don't want to break my leg or hands. I still work. Like I still do things. I have a family I got to keep up with. My 3-year-old daughter, man, she's got me on the run all the time, bro. Like she keeps me exhausted. So
Believe it.
It's nice to do all the things that you're doing with your body right now. When I was in my late 30s, early 40s, I gave up sugar for 90 days. And believe me, sugar's in everything.
it's horrible,
amazing.
especially
And
the processed refined sugar, Frank.
Yep.
If you're doing like pure sugar cane or a brown sugar, like depending on where how they make it, there is, or honey. Honey's a great sugar with all kinds of antioxidants that that I'll add into like my oatmeal, or if my daughter, if I want to sweeten something for her, that's how I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's great that you're doing all that stuff now, and everybody. I mean, I did it,
47, bro. I want to live to be 150.
and that's how you do it. This is. I'm just thinking out loud. Like maybe this is the way you do it. There's no who knows. But I'll say this, that I had my blood levels checked pre giving up sugar.
Yeah.
And I was borderline like
Diabetic.
a 5 out of 10 for being getting diabetes at some point. And then after I did it for 90 days, I was down to like 0. Like there was no trace. It completely restructured my blood. And, you know, and now I don't eat a ton of sugar, very little. And when stuff's sweet, I just can't eat it, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
So my point is that, and I lost like 15 pounds.
Oh, for sure.
You know, it's crazy. And so it basically reset my life for the next 50 years. You know, that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
You can cleanse your body, go for 3 months, a year, whatever it is. You know, it resets your system for success. So
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm telling you, it don't matter how much money we have in the world. If we don't have our health, we don't have shit, bro. I'd rather be a healthy, broke, happy guy than a rich, miserable, fat guy. Like, if I had to choose, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to pick health over every day over money, every day. So,
I have a question. So do you guys use DBank?
are
you subscribed?
I do.
No, I plug in my public addresses once in a while to check balances and to kind of look over and see if there's any tokens I'm not, thinking about, because you'll forget about stuff sometimes. And DBank's really good for that. But I don't do the whole, I see the narrative going around in the ecosystem, for subscribing and then putting your wallet up there for everyone to see. I don't know, man. It's tough, man, because if you got a good sized wallet, I don't know. I don't do that.
Well, you don't want to put it here.
I was about to say it must be nice to have a nice sized wallet, but it's not all.
I mean, a nice sized wallet could be like 10 grand or more, right? Like it's all relative.
Okay, that's fair.
You know what I mean? It's all relative to the person. But like 10 grand can easily turn into 100 grand, and that can easily turn into 500 grand. I mean, it's very quick. This shit moves quick, man, when the bull market comes.
That's true. I don't use DBank personally. I'm a bit of a crazy person, and I literally have it all in an Excel spreadsheet that I track by hand. So,
that's what Dane does. Dane does that shit. He has he'll pull up a Excel sheet, and it's all it's crazy, man.
I mean, it's not too bad. I usually just keep track of the raw number of the tokens that I have. My overall crypto strategy is to stay relatively focused. So, I mean, sure, I've taken a couple just pot shots over on the Pulse Chain side of things, but other than that, I'm in less than 20 tokens, so it's not too hard to track all at once.
Wow,
so
that's pretty good. Even with airdrops and stuff like that, you're still at only 20 tokens.
Well, there's very few airdrops that I actually care about or trust. So, for example, the only one that I know that some people chase airdrops. I don't quite understand how to do that. Chase the ones that are actually valuable. I have only received the Shrapnel token as a part of an airdrop because I like the GameFi stuff. I thought it was a cool game. I bought the VIP package a year ago or something. And then I think it was this last month I actually got airdropped. It was close to at the time it was $300 of Shrap token or something. And I was like, oh, cool. This thing pretty much just paid for itself. So, but other than that, I haven't really gotten any airdrops. And if I do see random stuff show up in my wallet, I just ignore it or just try to reject it.
Yeah.
95% of the time I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
Me too. Never ever, because you learned it in life. If someone is approaching you anywhere on earth, that's normally they want something from you. It's not the other way around, 95% of the time,
Unless you did something intentionally to get that airdrop, Frank. For example, I think right now you can go over to the Sony testnet for their new up and coming blockchain, or it's an L2. If you go in there and use their testnet, there's going to be an airdrop that you could receive. That would make sense, right? You intentionally did something where there was going to be a small reward in the back end, and then you get the airdrop, and it's okay, that makes sense. But for stuff that's to show up in my wallet randomly, I'm like Zenith, man. I'm like, F you, I'm not touching it. I'd rather not, right? Like even if it's worth like $100, like it's not worth risking my portfolio or that wallet. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's tough, man, because I know some of them are legit. There are legit airdrops out there. It's crypto. It's like the only place in the world where free money happens. But it's hard to determine which ones are the scammers or not, unless, like I said, you intentionally did something to get that said airdrop.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've noticed that I do find it fun to go and look at certain addresses in DBank. Like I think the Firewall, I haven't looked at it in a while, but I think
he's got one in there.
I think that's pretty cool that someone like him, you know, that's a fun thing to look at, because I think it helps. It certainly helps me expand what's possible. You know, like it's a really eye-opening experience when you see how many millions of dollars are in a particular wallet and what positions are allocated to that. And I think with his wallet, I mean, I found there's hardly anything else. There's hardly anything outside of the ecosystem, the RH ecosystem in his wallet. I find that very cool that somebody's that invested in the ecosystem, and the liquidity providing that he does.
Massive.
Pretty amazing. So I think that might inspire people like, oh yeah, I think I'm going to get in the same pools he's in, you know? So I think it's a teaching tool. I think it's a learning tool. I think it's an aspirational tool. I'm going to eventually subscribe to it and put a wallet on there just for fun. Cause I think regardless of, you know, well, like you guys, I have a lot of wallets. So it's like, I'll put something on there. I'm pretty confident I'll learn a lot from it just from having it on there. And I, you know, anyway, I'm just thinking out loud of what's fun to do right now when things are down, you know?
Yeah. I mean, people are saying use DBank almost like a social media platform.
Yeah.
With your wallets connected, like, and you know who's who and where, and it's a good advertising it's good advertising for Pulse Chain, right? Like if there is a bunch of big wallets that are registered on there and that are engaging on DBank. I mean, it's good for Pulse Chain. I'm just, you know, I don't know if I want to do it or not. I mean, I've thought about it, but I don't have the biggest wallets, of course, but I also don't have the smallest wallets either. So it's like,
well, that gets to the comparison thing. Like, you know, comparison. What's the saying that comparison? You know what it is. Like,
comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah, well, it's good for the other ecosystems for people to come in and look like, oh, there's guys in Pulse Chain, like there's a bunch of wallets over 6 figures, and look at these wallets over here that are worth over $1 million, and like
8 figures.
And that's where the good advertising, you know, comes in, because like someone from Cardano, right, like, or Phantom comes in and they're registered on there and they're engaging, and then they see this guy who's from Pulse Chain, and then they go check out all his buddies, and like now you got this. Holy crap, there is something going on in Pulse Chain. What is going on over there? And then they come over and check us out, right? Like, and that's where I could see that working. Yeah, I guess I could really see that working, but
that has an effect. But I mentioned previously that, in my opinion, what we do here today, it has a much stronger effect going out. You know, especially if people would comment on these things on YouTube, then YouTube would pick it up. Oh, okay, more and more people. How many hexagons are out there, man? How long does it take to put, like, you know, 7? Ask the people. Put a 7 in the comment. You know, just put something in the comment. You know, hey, let's go, guys, or whatever. And then, then YouTube would recommend you for more people. Then you're gonna take it a notch further. I'm not on Twitter anymore, but then I used to do that. I copied the link. You know, I tagged the people and I said, hey, check it out. You know, that's another thing. Because at the end of the day, you know, like, if you want worldwide adoption, DBank is like a level 5 sort of system, which the ordinary people, they don't even know what you're talking about. DBank, you know, when I started doing crypto, I didn't know these things, but they're mainly where you get your information from, Twitter and YouTube. So if more of the content creators would do this, what we do, at least once a week, you know, like do your own explanations, examinations, you know, deep research, 4 times a week or 2-3 times a week, but give one day when you just, you know, text a few guys in the system and say, hey, I want to talk about this, you want to jump on, and then, you know, let's, or just do it like an open mic night, the way how you do it. I think that one has much stronger effect because it makes the conversation more interesting. You know, other topics come in, you know, like maybe you don't know something but Zenit knows, you know, and then he share it with you, and then people are like, oh, I didn't know that. So And
I
then
know
here
who
we
it
go.
is.
We have some.
Sorry, I know
Wow.
who that is.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
That's some. Yeah, I
Oh
have an
my
idea. It should be a very
He's got
fast
camels
person.
too. No, he's got camels too. Don't make no mistake. He has camels in the background. He's hiding.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm the dev for Retardeye.
Oh
So
man.
I want to spread the word about Retardeye before it's too late.
Did
So-
Retardeye make it off of the coin? What's it called? Coin what?
Coin.quest. No, it's still on there.
Coin.quest. I always forget that name. I can't. Is it off of CoinQuest? Is that on Dex now?
No, it's still on Coin.quest.
Yeah, okay. Well, you're not doing your job, Retardeye.
Well, that's
in
why
the
I'm
do
here,
something?
here today to spread the word of Retardeye. I have if you let me share my screen, I'll show you guys the facts and about the algorithms and how Richard Hart is actually behind it.
Oh,
I need a clarification real quick. Is it retard die or retard AI? Because both of those are actually existing.
It's retard die.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Good clarification.
why,
Thank
and
you.
that's why he capitalized the D to try to help differentiate between the two.
I think once you see the logo, everything will be made clear. You'll understand.
Put the
where we're
contract
going with
address
it.
in the
Okay.
chat, I guess.
Actually, it wouldn't be something you'd access via the contract address. So you can see here, this is the Coin.quest website, which is a fork of Pump.fun from Solana, the highest
Yep.
grossing and fees protocol in the world on any blockchain. Makes like $1 million a day on Solana. Probably
It
makes
is
less
that
on
is
blockchain.
facts. That is ridiculous what
is.
the volume they bring in. In fact, that's why Solana, in my opinion, part of the reason why they have so much total value of lock, so many transactions, and so much activity over there, is because all those dumb meme coins and rug pools. Like
It just and they're like 90% rug
Yeah.
pulls for sure.
they are. They are.
There's if the things that actually make it off of this on Pulse Chain or Solana have burnt liquidity, right? So you can still have a stacked holders list, and we can take a look at that here because you actually see the holders list for who will hold it when it makes it to the DEX. So the idea is that once it hits a $69,000 market cap, then
Got it. It's 12,000 now.
it gets burnt. So right now it's 12,000, and it's king
Got
of the hill, meaning it's the top one, right? But once
You're
it hits
beating the
69,000,
nuts. You're beating nuts though.
Retardeye is beating everything. It is the way of it's the future of
I love
finance.
Red Squirrel. Red Squirrel's my boy.
He can be next in line. I could see some Retardeye nuts pairs in the future.
Yeah, okay.
Probably
You played.
some-
Retardeye
nuts
plays
pairs.
nice with other meme coins.
Exactly. Yeah. So there's you can see that the Retardeye chart is substantial. And then you get to see the holders list here, so it shows 30% of the supply is remaining. Once that gets to zero, that's when it's at the $69,000 market cap. And when we go through here, you'll see some famous names, that are on the list, right? Of, people who have purchased Retardeye,
KDP.
or KDP, Donald Trump,
Even
these are-
Vitalik's in there, man.
Crypto Coffee, Vitalik, yeah. And then on the Eric Wall, and then on the left here, you can see the comments left by these people. And these are 100% confirmed. There's no way these were made up by someone else. So B-Roots is retarded for Retardeye. Elon Musk, he's done with Dodge. He's all in on Retardeye for the tech. Eric Wall doesn't believe in hacks, but believes in Retardeye because it's a product market fit because there's so many retards that need it. It's like these kind of things. These are the fundamentals that don't even include the algorithms that will make it be $1 no matter what. It's it is it's the future of finance for sure. I truly believe that one day you could probably buy the entire supply of Retardeye for $1. That could happen. It's important. You see some Pangang guys in here, they're converting to Retardeye. We got Too Spooky and DJ and Waffles. They're just coming over, right? It's
I don't know
Retardeye.
about you, but I feel uncomfortable. Just,
With what part in particular? Because I think there's multiple answers to that.
Right.
If you're planning on running, getting into politics anytime soon, you should probably get off the stream. I think that's probably a thing. But you know, this is what the people want. So yeah, I just wanted to get that out there, and you can see behind like I got like I have like spreadsheets and flowcharts and stuff. Like you can see that like you know like there's like a system here, and like some of the wallets that have bought Retardai on Coin.Quest have bought things from wallets that were connected to wallets that deployed stuff by Richard Hart, right? So
That's your proof of Richard Hart's behind this.
he's behind ultimately, like he's behind Retardai. So you know, like it's in the code, right? It's you know,
Well,
it's you
He's
can't
definitely
don't be a
behind
hater.
Pulse Chain, and Retardai lives on Pulse Chain, so I guess there's a connection there.
It's really Richard Hart's token. Yeah. So that's yeah, the main thing I want to share with you guys today, you know, is that yeah, one day you could probably buy the entire supply of Retardai for $1. And you know, so I think in that respect, it's going to be very similar to PDI. And yeah, there's this so much room to take over finance.
Is this one of these times where you're getting some really bad reception on your end, Corey, where the show just kind of cuts out?
On purpose?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I mean,
Or just everyone pretend that we cannot hear Fast Abdul. Sorry, what was that? I can't hear you.
what happened to the camels, man? Are the camels around anywhere? I mean,
Camels have no relation to Retardai.
camels have no relation to Retardai. Okay.
You never know. That some Retardai could go to the Camel Clan distribution if it makes it to the DEX.
If it makes it a DEX, it could be on
that
2
seems likely.
stocks.
Yeah, that is true. Retardai. I think there is as much chance as Retardai, probably technically more chance of Retardai hitting $1 than PDI. Just by the math. Like if you look at the chart and
You
its
mean
direction,
total market cap or
Right, total market cap $1.
both could for sure happen. Total market cap could be $1, which is what I was saying with you could buy the entire supply for $1, but also a single Retardai could be $1. I think both things are possible.
Okay.
As
Wow.
possible as PDI hitting $1. But anyway,
Zenny, do you have any Yeah,
Remember
sorry,
how
I'll
I
let you
said
finish.
earlier about how I try to keep my focus narrow and I invest in only a few tokens?
So there's no Retardai in your future there, Zenith. Is that what I'm sensing?
I'll put it this way: we might throw 1 million pulse at it or something, but that. Sorry, I'm looking at other stuff right now, and I'm just thinking like, oh gosh, I got to catch up to Corey. What's gonna get me there?
Just keep DCAing. That's what I do. I mean, I just DCA once or twice a month. That's all I do, man. There's no secret to it. I do play some meme coins once in a while. I'll play. Oh,
for
he's
sure.
gone. He's gone. He just. Frank, you got your wish.
The Blue Man Group
got
is gone,
upset?
unfortunately.
Got upset. The boogeyman is gone.
Yeah, I'll play some meme coins once in a while, man. I recently, and it looks like I sold a little early. I even sold some PTG recently and went into Pulse because it was pumping pretty hard. And yeah, I mean, I'll buy and sell them.
I think it was
What's that?
5% sell tax, right?
Yep, that's fine, man. I got about a 20x on it.
Nice.
Yeah, I bought it
Dang.
in the last little it was like it was last year when I bought it.
You
It was
bought it at
last
the right
year.
time. Nice.
Yeah, I bought it like near the bottom, so it was time to sell for me. I'll
Really,
buy back in.
you know, it really is about buying bottoms, you know.
Dude, it is, dude. I won't buy massive green candles. The people shilling it now, to me, it's like you guys are being, disingenuous, shilling massive green candles like that. Like it's just not my thing.
Well, I think what's important is that, you know, like I did my what was it, $2,500 to 250,000 challenge, right? And I was buying a lot of coins. Right?
Oh yeah, how did that pan out?
It didn't do well. everything. I created a huge base of a lot of coins.
Okay.
But the value of it, I think at one point I took 500. It was probably around 10,000. You know, I don't even know what it is now because I kind of gave up on it, you know.
Yeah.
But what I learned there is I really learned how to avoid what I learned was if you're in the hype, right? If you're buying something fresh out of the gate, there is the thing of once you can double or triple your money, you're out. And then you take you take your initial investment out, and then you let the rest ride, right? So that's one thing, you know, that I learned. And it took me this was a great education. I got $250,000 in value of it just from doing it. And I got what I learned. So, and then I learned how we're attracted to the hype, and it desensitized me to the hype. So now I look at something and go, I should be buying. I'm like, no, you shouldn't. So it was really a good exercise in that. And when you do it over and over, like I've gotten better and better at it now over time. And in fact, like the last 8 or 10 coins that I bought, they're all free rides now. And I took it all and put it into Pulse.
Because you took profit on a double or a triple.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I made a mistake, and I'm not afraid to share this. I watched PDAI go up. I did a 20x on PDAI. Yeah. And I was like, because I'm pretty much a buy and hold guy, right? I don't sit around and trade. I do a little bit more trading now when I see opportunities. But when I realized, oh wow, I didn't take profits, right? I could have had a 20x and taken profits and taken a lot out and just let it ride, right? But what I did was I took only a 6x profit, and I put it all into Pulse Chain. And at one point, that was worth the PDAI. It wasn't, I think I put $300 into PDAI, and it became $6,000.
Yeah.
I'm just going to, I was just, it's a tiny amount, right? But when I sold it, I got a 6x on it. I think it was 1,800 I sold it for, and I put it all into Pulse, right? But I didn't keep any PDAI. So in retrospect, I would have kept some PDAI and let that ride and been okay. Because when you let it ride, I'm so glad Fast Abdul came in, because there was this other
real Fast Abdul. Can you please show up? Can you please stand up?
That was some weird stranger.
With that outfit on, he looks a little bit like Slappy from Goosebumps, just a titch, if you guys seen the movie Goosebumps, it's great. Jack Black plays Slappy.
Or like like from all days.
But I learned a lot from doing that, and I think if you get a chance, do some degenning for a while, but don't do it with money you can afford to lose in very small amounts, and you learn a ton. You just learn so much doing it. I think I traded 20 or 30 coins within that time frame, and I just again I finally caught on. And when you hear people that do this regularly and they go, Frank, take profits, take your initial investment out, I'm like, no, it's going to go higher. That's a telltale sign. Even in this in this bear market, there's parts of bull markets, so you can get caught up in that, and the bull market itself is sustained, like a long sustained. We've talked about this. It's a long sustained feeling of months, weeks, months of euphoria. And so where am I going with this? Somebody
sell.
Help.
If you feel like taking a picture to send it to your buddies,
have a plan.
Sell it first.
What you wanted to finish. Have a plan.
Your degree of attachment goes down to 0 when you got a free ride. You can do whatever you want with that free ride. So, but when you still have everything in it, you're attached. You're really attached, and the goal is to become unattached and make money being unattached.
I learned that from B Roots, to be honest with you.
Exactly.
Like about a year and a half ago, even before Pulse Chain launched, just from kind of following him around and what he does. And I know people have mixed opinions about him, and that's fine. But like that's where I watched the law of meme coins. And when I started actually going in and playing with some of the meme coins, that's exactly how I learned it too. I mean, one coin I got a little too attached to, I should have sold, with Solid X. Rode that bitch all the way up and all the way back down. Damn it. I'm like, Corey, you know better. Because I got attached, Frank. I got attached, and because I know I spoke to Tiago and Randy's group, and like I know the fire well. I know what he makes in liquidity. So I got all this attachment because of that, and still like, Corey, you're still stupid. Well, who knows? Maybe people, maybe retard die will continue going up forever. Maybe that'll be the one that could
I
go
wouldn't
up.
trust that guy. That guy's a scammer. Sketchy, Like
he was talking about providing liquidity with Retardai and the Camel Clan.
That I think it wouldn't be providing liquidity. It'd be that Camel Clan participants, which are people who are yield farming in a pool with 30% 2 fucks or more, could receive that as a bonus token, like they're receiving the Camel token right now, or like the solid index pair is actually paying on top of fucks and 2 fucks is paying Camel, Soyme, and Nope token.
It's paying Soyme, the original Soyme from back in the day.
The original Soyme.
Really? I don't know if you guys know the story, but that was what actually created Solid X.
Yeah.
There was that token because Sami would not play nice with it. And that's fine. It's his MO, right? He don't want to have a coin and he doesn't want to be related to a coin. I get it. And since he denied it, and I think he even
he made a sell wall, right?
That was it.
Like a super, super thick
that was it.
B3 sell wall. So like it would just bounce off.
Yeah,
right?
you couldn't get through it.
Like at a really low price on purpose. Like he understood exactly what he was doing. And clearly he knew the potential value and he rejected it, right? And he wasn't consulted up front, I'm pretty sure. That's just somebody airdropped to him and he didn't want to attach to his name, and then he did that, which my understanding is it angered the fire whale. And very quickly, like days later,
Solid X came out.
Randy came out with Solid X, and and they're still working on that. Like there's going to be a game out soon, all kinds of things attached.
I'm massively bullish on Solid X, man. It's
I
my
bought
number
more
one
Solid
meme
X.
At
That's
this
my
price
number
now,
one meme coin. I have more of that. It's literally like if you look at my portfolio, it's like Pulse X, Ink, Hex, and then Solid X. Like that's like almost the order of like if you want to look at the economic value. Solid X, man. I'm bullish on it.
Don't sleep on the X token.
Dude, it's already pumped too much for me, bro. I'm done.
Well,
that's buying a green candle. I don't buy green candles.
I'm not saying buy it. I'm just saying don't sleep on it.
It needs a big retracement for me to buy it.
Maybe a retracement,
Yeah.
It needs if it retraces, Frank, which it probably will, then I won't sleep on it.
I think it's Elon Musk narrative, and it's on Pulse Chain.
Watch, I'm going to test something. I'm going to test something real quick. Yeah. How many gains have you made so far, Frank, on X?
7X.
Okay, well, that's pretty good still. So yeah, I was just seeing something.
Yeah, right. and I have taken out almost
your original,
pretty much my original. Yeah,
good. So you got a free ride, nice little position, and it does have a little narrative starting to brew up. I see it, and I see it on Twitter, and so I think it does have some legs. And like Pastor Abdul said, if it has a nice little correction, I actually would put a small little bullet in it. I would.
I just think it's cool. I just think it's. I thought it was when I saw it, I was like, it's completely obvious to me. Like you've got Twitter becoming X. Elon Musk has a son named X, from what I understand. This could be a move where it maybe that wasn't even in the intention of the coin, but I just see someone it could be that's my coin, Elon Musk, that's my coin kind of thing. I don't want to say an ego move, an ego play, but it could be. I don't know. I'm not a billionaire, but it could be.
Yeah, no, I like it, man. Like I said, if it has a nice little pullback, I'll put some bullets in it, or a small little bullet in there and see what it does. I think it could develop some legs over the term of the bull market, just because it's got a cool little narrative about it. So, yeah. Do we know who founded that thing or where it came from?
No.
It feels like it has a connection to Coach X and PTGC.
Oh, no, it does. That means it really
like intended rumor type feel, right?
Okay.
But like
that's what it feels like to me. But I can neither confirm nor deny. I don't even remember where I picked up that.
Yeah, I mean, those guys build shit that pumps. I mean, I'll give them that.
But it is a meme coin, right? And like
Right.
when you look at the supply distribution, things like that, you know, like you want to take a look at the holder count on anything that like that. But I feel like it, you know, if somebody might claim it at some time, or at least well-known figures may represent it. But the real question to me on any of this meme coin stuff is, will they make a journey from meme coin to store of value, right? So, which I think is what we see with like the solid index tokens, right? So Axis, Fire, Nope, and Solid X is like, okay, they're starting to have these things built around them, right? And we can look at like Nope has like a Gifford Tech buy and burn feature built around it. Solid X has some sort of a casino game coming out for it or something like that. And Axis is building on top of his token with something more complicated, right? Yep. Sort of like almost like a Hedron Icosa ecosystem type thing, where there's like, you know, there's dates and there's times and there's staking, like you know, like a Galaxy Brain stuff, right? So, and then on top of that, and that's just the base infrastructure of these things that initially were essentially meme coins, right? On top of that, we end up with utility that comes from staking, either single-sided staking or yield farming on multiple platforms with real numbers, right? Like on 2fox, the 2 solid index is one of the biggest pools. There's like 400 grand there, and it's still paying like over 70% APR. That doesn't include the bonus tokens, because that we haven't figured out how to fix that yet. So that's just in Fox and 2fox. It doesn't include the Nope, Soy Meat, or Camel token that are coming to those people for free as bonus yield. So it's probably over 80% realistically. And it's like a big amount of money. It's not like it's a $500 pool. It's easy to make a $500 farm that pays 80%. It's hard to make one that's $400,000, yes, $500,000 sustainable, right? Is the word. So when I see that, like, okay, I can go with Nope token for sure. I have options on 9inch. I have options on 2fox. I have options on SparkSwap, and they're all pretty good, like in that over 50% range last time I checked. And there's the Gifford Tech thing that burns it potentially, that I don't think it's taken off yet, but could be a thing. Like, you know, like you have these teams that are trying to make the transition from, like, you know, something like Bitcoin that was nothing to this, right? So, you know, like it's these could be the stories we tell our grandchildren in the future, or not. Like, you know, like, not financial advice. It could all go to zero. You could buy the entire supply for $1 a year from now, right? But it feels like when you have founders with faces in particular, that or at least that are, you know, have, like with the Fire Whale, we don't have his face in a public setting, but many people have seen his face who we know, right?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I've talked to him, you know, personally on Zoom.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah,
things like that.
He's the kind of guy that looks like you imagine that he looks like the most interesting man in the world.
You do, yeah, indeed. I agree.
Fast, Abdul, is there a option, or have you done this before, to go through your site and explain these things for people, which pools do what, how to get the extra tokens? Because I'm actively involved in your platform, also on SparkSwap, and I'm really big on 9inch. I like this farming option. But do you have anything like which would help the people to you know, to get familiar with your site and, you know, see the different options and see these extra values? Do you have any videos about that?
I haven't done anything really super focusing on these extra tokens in particular. I'm going to be on with Corey Costa later today. Maybe we'll hit that. But I started my own YouTube channel, and I'm going to start doing more deep dive stuff on you know, the heavier lifting things in yield farming is going to be the focus, right? So it's not going to be a new, like I've only done 2 episodes so far, and it's like it's heavy stuff. It's not for the new guys. It's for the, you know, people who are in the industry who want to understand a deeper level, some yield farming.
But you can make other episodes for the newbies as well, you know, to get more liquidity, and, you know, like, why not, you know?
Yeah. No, it is an attention market, right? And I think
especially if you go to other people's shows, like let's say you and Cody would do like one of the afternoon when you screen sharing and show things or whatever. I don't know if Cody would go up for it, but
I'm always
you
up
can,
for
dual cast streams. That's something that could, I think more people in the community should do that, actually, just because it would.
because this is what we need, like news and all these other things move in the market. If you put any chart in front of anyone, no one's gonna look at it like, oh, is the Fibonacci or the Bollinger Band or whatever news comes out, that moves the market. That's it. These big guys don't sit in office, and then maybe they put like trend lines or like they use Fibonacci, maybe the max, I would say, and trend lines, and support resistance. And that's all. Like they don't need anything.
I'm not going to do any charting. I think there's I have a vague understanding. Like I took a class on it once, but there's so many guys that do it so much better. Like my co-founder Yellowcake is probably the best chart guy I know. And then Axis and that hands guy. He actually charted Retard Eye the other day, which was pretty hilarious. Yeah, things like that. Like there's just guys who that's their focus.
That guy was just on here. He left.
Yeah, you should interview the dev of Retard Eye on your channel.
It could be done. If there's a yield farming option, which is actually something I've talked to Hexy Bastard about, if the Coin.Quest tokens, right? So they're on there, and it's like the Coin.Quest thing, the same as Pump.Fun. Like that's super degen, like 99% rug pull time, right? Like that's like it just makes it so it can rug pull before it even gets to a DEX, right? Yeah. Like this pre-DEX rug pull, right? So you want to think of it as like play money, like it's literally like $5, right? Like not $100, not $1,000, not
right.
100,000 pulse, right? Like I think that's the game there. But I was talking to Hexy about like, okay, once those things do make it to the DEX, if they can have utility on day one, like 9inch wants to be like, okay, you have a yield farm with the Nuts token paired with Retard Eye, and if you participate in that yield farm, you can earn BBC, right? Well, then it's like, okay, then maybe this won't definitively go to zero, which on Pump.Fun on Solana, the ones that do make it, so they get they make the 69,000 and they move over to the DEX, the liquidity gets burnt. It's just a dump fest. Like none of them really make it past there. I don't think there's a great success story of a token that moved on. So to correct that, if you had immediate utility as the next piece of the pie, right?
Oh, as soon as it gets onto the DEX, you have like a different, yeah.
Like you'd have Retard Eye paired against P-Die and then a farming option, right? Like which actually generates fees, and therefore the DEX is actually making money. So it's sustainable. Like all the money has to come from somewhere. Anything that's just a gimme where somebody's artificially inflated something and it's just paying you way too much, and there's no reason for it, and there's no dates on the calendar of when like some sort of big thing is going to happen that will make it worth the inflated value it is at the start or whatever. Like that's a warning sign. But when you have real utility that is proportionate, like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I can see that. It'd be nice if we did have something make it to a DEX and really explode, just to have that spotlight that CoinQuest actually is producing a viable meme coin versus where Pump.Fun? Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
is all 100% garbage. But I mean, like literally that protocol alone is what brought all the transaction volume to Solana. It is amazing what that thing did. And if we can get even a fraction of that over to Pulse Chain, that's why I'm not against it. I love the meme coins. I welcome it. I'm not a big meme coin guy myself. That's just not my stick. I love utility type stuff, and I do hold some meme coins, but it's not my forte. But like I welcome all of it. Like, come on. Bring it all on. I mean, unfortunately, it's going to bring a lot of rug pulls and scammers, but I mean, that's just part of the gig, man. We're in crypto. This is just how it is.
That's why the SEC's here, so they can track the rug pulls.
You got it right. Yeah, right. So they can bring all the scammers to justice, right? Instead, they attack all the guys who have credibility and who are actually trying to make the world a better place. Fucking stupid. Yeah. Look. That's what I think about the SEC. So, I mean, if you want to give the middle finger to the SEC, just go buy Pulse Chain. or anything else on Pulse Chain too. That's another way of giving them. I mean, anything on Pulse Chain ecosystem gives the middle of the SEC. So like, yeah. But no, it's good, man. Can you answer this, Fast Abdul? I've been meaning to ask Hesse Bastard, but I haven't talked to him. Why did they go? I think I have a hunch why. Why did they go with CoinQuest instead of like putting some branding in there for the 9-inch?
My understanding from, like, and I'm not to be clear, because I have got this a bunch of times just because I'm aware of what's going on, so I can talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not your
team.
protocol.
I had zero relation to these guys as far as teams go. Like, it's just, I'm just having fun. But like, I understand that they intentionally strayed away from Pulse Chain branding, right? Or
That's what I
attaching it specifically to the 9-inch decks, because they want to be able to reach a wider market potentially, right? So let's say this does explode and we get like outside influencers looking at it. He wanted it to be able to move on its own, not necessarily be tied to Pulse Chain, which right now I think is fine. In the future, obviously, you could change that branding if it was relevant. So I think that's okay. One important point I think that these guys, they've declared that they're doing, and there's signs that they're going to do it, is that Pump.Fun is the highest grossing protocol in crypto, but 100% of the fees
Wow.
all go to the founder. Like, one guy is making $1 million a day off of it, right? Nothing goes, like, it's not going back to the community. Whereas proportionately, like, I'm sure it's a much smaller number, but what is it again? Coin.Quest is also charges relatively high fees. It's like 3% of transaction, but 100% of it goes back to the community, and they have a leaderboard for that shows you where it's going to go in the end. So it's like people who participate get.
Got it. So if you're on there making coins and doing things inside that ecosystem, then you're going to get a little share of that revenue.
Buying and selling even, right? And actually, if you look at the top, they have like a leaderboard, and you press the leaderboard button, you can see it, and there's points assigned. It's the guys who are buying and selling likely are the top guys on the chart. Versus
If I go buy Retardai and Nuts, I'm going to get paid to do so.
I believe you'll get a kickback if you buy it or sell it or participate in any way where you move funds around on CoinQuest, right?
Interesting.
So what that is, like, whether, like, it does, like, if you get rug pulled 17 times in a row, will it be a win? No, probably not.
Probably not.
But there is something that goes back to the community. And it's not going, a very small portion of it is going to the people who are making the coins specifically. Like that one transaction of making a coin, doesn't seem to give you a ton of points. I'm pretty sure the top guys are buying and selling every day, and that's how they're getting.
Those are the guys getting a ton of points.
So of course, those are the guys who are also paying the fees, right?
Right, that is true. So it's a reimbursement.
Yeah. So. But it is going back to the community. So that's a big difference. And if that started grossing $10,000 a day, to the $1 million that we see on Solana, then, okay, that's a thing, right? $10,000 a day going back into the Pulse Chain ecosystem. Well, like right now, that would be out. That's not what's happening right now. But like, I think there's that potential is there. And I think that team is suited for this sort of meme type activity. They can carry the ball on this, right? Like
they can. Oh, I agree with that.
This is a job for Hesse Bastard.
Yes. Oh, 120%. Now, when a coin goes to a DEX, can it go on all the DEXs at that point? Like, is it allowed to come to Fux? Is it allowed to come to, PulseX? Is it allowed to like be on? Is that how that works?
When on the creation screen, which costs to make a coin, it costs you nothing aside from the pulse fee. So for whatever, like 200 pulse, you can make a coin on Coin.Quest, right? You have an option to buy in to be the first buyer, right? That you can take or not take. And if you don't take that, that's fine. Somebody else can be the first to buy or you buy after. It's not like there's not and there's a limit of how much, like, 1 million pulse or something is the only option you have. You can't put in $10,000 and have a way in the same position, right? So, but at that same time, when you're making that decision of, like, okay, am I putting any pulse into this to be the first buyer to pump the chart? I'm putting in the comments description. It gives you an option of what DEX should this go to when.
Oh, interesting.
And I believe the choices were 9-inch. or PulseX, maybe 9mm was a choice. I think maybe it was. Maybe it's not anymore. I would have to look. But there was discussion of they'd like to get it on Flux as well. Flux is a much more complicated system. It would require an upgrade plugin for that to work. So, but that was publicly discussed by the team.
I would like to see it go to Flux.
Too.
Flux is one of my favorite dexes. And when I'm providing liquidity, I mean, besides, I have a pretty good size position in the Ink PulseX pool, but other than that, any other liquidity for me is over on Flux. So yeah, I would like to see that be added as an option. Hexy Bastard, if you're watching, fix that. Fix it.
So,
wow, Fast, the depth that you cover stuff and the broadness that you cover is amazing. I appreciate you. I
didn't know a lot about it.
Yeah.
My buddy who lives out here in Puerto Rico, he's a big 9-inch guy. Like, he does all this liquidity providing, and he's playing around with it. He's creating stuff all the time over there. In fact, that's Abdul, you had a conversation with him the other day. You're going to create some pools for him over in the two Flux. Real cool guy. He's like almost my neighbor. We hang out all the time. But he loves, man. That's his stick. Like liquidity providing, making the path. Like, he don't care. He don't care about permanent loss. He's just sticking it all in there, and that's what he does. And so it's it's fun to see, man. But yeah.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And there's other things coming up too, right? Like, when you look at the Pulse chain and how depressed it is, and you look at like the protocols that have gone up and down, I think that's like, we all want to talk about the new thing. So like, yeah, Coin.Quest is fun. Maybe Retardai is fun. The chart looks great, but like,
the dev sucks though, dude. Like, he came on and he was just an asshole.
Super sketchy. I'm pretty sure that chart behind him has something to do with penguins. I don't think it's for real. But there's so many gems on the Pulse chain that have been there for a long time. And I'm talking things with like potential utility, or, like a stronger store of value than just a standalone meme coin, that are really depressed right now. Right. And like, I think these things are all going to have their season, and the lows are like, I don't know if the lows are in on anything, but like, there's crazy prices on a lot of things that, like, everybody knows the name of, right? Like, there's like the Power City tokens, like Watt. They have 3 tokens. They have Watt, Flex, and Earn. Flex and Earn are forks of liquidity, same as Liquid Loans, and they're crazy prices, right? What do we have here?
The low is definitely in.
The old Pulse ETH chart.
So like, yeah, there's stuff going on. There's deals to be had. And you don't have to buy the newest meme coin to make money. Like, maybe some of this old stuff that's down, like, of course you have a weird pump at the start for a lot of things that doesn't make sense. But like, you have things that are down 80% that have like huge utility, that will be the places where money goes to live when it comes onto the chain, like real money, right? That have enough liquidity to support it, right? Like, or that have mechanisms that create liquidity.
I agree,
right? Things like that are huge. And we have that new, I'll share this with you guys just because it's a little bit of alpha, but it's, just a could be. Like, we have that new thing with the stable swap that's on PulseX, right? Which is actually the same as the stable swap that's on 9inch that they did first, because it's a fork of the same thing, which is it says it uses the word curve in there, but it's a curve type pool, which is actually forked from Pancake Swap, quite likely, right? So Pancake Swap, stable swap, you can look it up. There's a white paper, a lot more documents on that than on Pulse Chain. Just allows for, it has DAI, like bridged DAI, bridged USDT and USDC, and that in the pool, right? And they can move freely between each other at a lower rate. There's a lower fee that's charged that goes to the liquidity provider, etc. But the fun thing is that I think could be a thing is that when you put in $1, and you can actually put in one of any one of those things, you don't have to have like proportionate amounts. So you can put in 1 USDC, it gives you one, and it's called PulseX stable LP token, right? So one PulseX stable LP token is worth $1. So, and that PulseX stable LP token is fungible. It can be bought and sold. So that is, in my mind, a new stable coin. It's always redeemable for $1, either DAI, USDC, or USDT. So what happens if you took a PulseX stable LP token, or 100,000 of them, you put them on something like Fox, 2FUCks, and paired them against USDC, and DAI from Ethereum, and they could trade freely between each other, and that becomes a new stable liquidity pair, which by the very nature of how those stable pools work would peg the stable LP token to the price of those other 3 tokens that are what's inside it anyway. You have a 0 impermanent loss factor, or very close to, and potential arbitrage opportunities. But really, like, the fun thing is that if that happened, if that was on FUCks where you could yield farm with it, it would burn Pulse X by default, right? So you'd have this LP token that could be on any other DEX that was represented $1, and that could be traded like it was a stable coin. But on no matter what DEX it was on, by its very nature of existing, it would be burning Pulse X. So, I think that could be a fun concept that could be expanded on.
Is that, Jex's thing that's coming out that you guys had Jex on your show last week or the week before?
Yeah.
Is his when you stake the Pulse and do you get like a
VPulse?
VPulse, is that kind of like a stable coin then too, or
not a stable coin? He's just, I know where you're going with this, Frank. Is you could just take your Pulse and VPulse and put that in a liquidity pool, and you have very limited and permanent loss because they're very relevant to each other. It's like almost the same asset, except for this one here is going to have a little bit of yield that it's accumulating over time, which is very slow. So you won't even you're not going to suffer a permanent loss playing that game. You could also be like, if there's other staking protocols, I know there's like a Project Pi, for like a liquid staking, and you can take maybe theirs, take VPulse, take Pulse, and now you can open like a FUCks pool where you have more than one asset, and you can have all these liquid staking derivatives plus Pulse have virtually almost no permanent loss. So it's kind of the same ideology there, Frank.
Great for farming
with the stable coins. Great for farming, great for yield without having to have that concern. Now, as long as the APYs are okay, they're decent enough, then now for the stable coins, I'm not really interested because in a risk on market, I don't want to be in stable coins. But for the Pulse one, for Pulse, VPulse, and then the other liquid staking derivatives, I'm very interested in that. Like literally, let me stick all my Pulse in there and let's go. Like I would ride that out throughout the bull run. That is sexy as hell to me, even if it's not paying a real high APY, because like I don't need to have 50% on that pool.
If we're paying 30%, that'd be so much more than being a validator yourself, right?
It's massive.
It'd be like you were a validator because those tokens go up because they're attached to validators.
Yeah, and you still are on a couple of them, right? Like it's
double dipping,
amazing. Right? Oh, it's amazing, man. I am super excited when that stuff starts to roll out. It's showing that Pulse chain is starting to grow up a little bit, right? For me, that's what it's showing, because these liquid staking derivatives are over on Ethereum. They're on a couple other blockchains. But the fact that now we're going to be getting them, and these have utility. Remember, I'm a utility guy. Like that's what really gets my brain excited. The meme coins are fun, and I encourage them to all come over. But the utility stuff is what really gets the brain going, and it makes me excited. And this right here, man, I'm all about it. Like, let's go, get that in there. It can't come out quick enough, man. For me, I'm going to be unwinding my validators, because I want to be more liquid anyways if we see another like altcoin season here at the end of the year. So I'm going to be unwinding my validators, and I don't like my stuff just sitting liquid, man. I mean, if I could help it, that's a great place to go. Like, and that's where I'll be going with that money for me. So not financial advice, guys. None of us are financial advisors on here. We only speculate on our own money. That's it. Go buy stocks and bonds, like Sami says. So
that's what you're into. But yeah, this is
that's what you're
into over here.
That is it. I agree. Although I like what Sigma 9 says here. Nothing to worry about, gents. Hex is going to melt us. Actually, Hex will be in my next DCA, Sigma 9. So just for your info, that's my where I'm going to be allocating some of my money next. I'm still building those bags. Even though they're nice size bags, I want them bigger. So
I just bought some bits myself. My show that I'm going to do later today is going to be about leveraged yield farming using the Flex protocol with Hex.
Oh, love it. Love it, man. Utility on top of utility. Utility. It's great. That's the stuff I love, man.
Layer the utility, right? Like I think that's I think right now, like, you know, when all this stuff is super cheap, like, man, if you can amplify your bags, leverage is super dangerous. You have to understand, but you know, if minimal leverage, like just 20% more, 30% more, right? Not the 15x stuff on, you know, Fame or GMX, right? Like that's for the pros.
Yeah, and some guys kill it doing it. I watched them. I'm like, oh my god, guys, you guys are like.
It can go down as quick as it can go up. Like that stuff is,
Sure.
you gotta have like the cojones, and not just the cojones, because you will, you know, lose them very quickly. You need to have the knowledge to do that stuff. That's
And capital on top of the capital. Like it's like the guys who are counting cards in the casino. It's like they get about a 2% edge, right? It's 52% versus 48. But you're going to have nights where you get your ass handed to you still, and you got to come back the next day with more capital. So like that's what leverage trading is like. Even if you have that edge, you have an edge, but there's going to be days where the market's going to hand you. It doesn't matter what kind of edge you hit. They're going to hand you your smackdown, right? And then you can come back the next day and probably beat the market, but you got to have more capital. Like
like the casino, the market, or the tool that you're using for leverage is looking for a way to beat you too, right? Like the casino doesn't break the card counter.
100%.
Like if they think you're a card counter, they're going to wait till you lose, and then they're going to take you out. Like you know,
I know. I worked in casinos for 15 years before I got into real estate. That was my prior life, and dealing blackjack, and it was a fun, wild job that I had. That was when I lived my rock and roll lifestyle.
So there's only a 4% advantage to being a card counter.
If you're a good counter and you know the book, you're playing by the book, you get about a 2% advantage over the house.
Wow. That's amazing. That's
you have to have a massive bankroll, and it's through over time. That's what people don't understand. Doesn't mean you're gonna go in there and beat the house the first night. It's over time that you have the edge in how you make your money. It's not, you can get your ass kicked still. Trust me. It's I watched the guys do it. I watched them do it. So but yeah,
the theoretical strategy.
Trading's the same way. Trading's the same way. What's that?
I was gonna say the theoretical strategy with the blackjack card counting is you pretty much just like min bet everything until you find that opportunity where the deck is stacked correctly, and then at that point you're supposed to max bet. The only downside of that is it's very obvious what you're doing if you're paying attention to the bet size. Correct. So you
always spot them. Yeah.
To get maximum value,
they're flat betting 25, 25, 25, literally for like 3 hours.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden their table max $500 or $1,000 or $2,000, whatever the max is, all across the table, and you're like, "Oh, really?
Oh, because they got partners, right? Like everybody's in it together." Like, okay.
Yeah, the cards are good now in his favor.
Yeah,
right.
And do new people come? Like new people suddenly show up and start betting when it's time?
Typically, when the deck's in their favor, they like to fill the table with their bets. Right. So that way they're capitalizing as much as they possibly can off of that run. Usually if there's other people at the table, they're usually in cahoots with the counter.
Right.
Yeah.
Typically. So it's I'm hearing that cat.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
My cat Figaro wants to be on screen.
No worries, man. I've got 4 of them at the house. You can have one more if you want. Freaker, and it's too much.
Speaking of the gambling and the leverage stuff, while we're talking about it, I do want to mention this because Fast, you're talking about actually using advanced strategies where leverage makes sense. I know a lot of times, like the message that we try to preach around these parts, or at least what we do over on our channel, is that leverage is usually, if not always, a bad option just because of trying to do leverage or specifically like options trading and that kind of stuff with crypto. Is that due to the sheer volatility of what's going on in the market, you can absolutely get wrecked just due to like scam what's happening. And the issue is that the volatility is a feature, not a bug. But at the same time, again, I'm not going to advertise this for beginners or intermediates or even most advanced people. Like, you really got to have a dedicated purpose, in my personal opinion, if you're using leverage, specifically like some sort of options thing. But there are points and times and strategies that you can build with it. For example, like, correct me, I think it's either Fame or Fiat, which is the one that allows you to do the options. I think it's Fiat, right?
Fiat gives out loans and such, and Fame is just leverage. That's all it does.
Gotcha. Yeah. So if you combine the leverage with a specific strategy and purpose, you can not only you can use it to either increase rewards, or you could theoretically use it to decrease downside risk. So like one of the famous examples, I think, is that if you have like a massive hex stake that's coming out and you want to take, and the market's what you believe to be a top, if you take out a specific type of options leverage, in case it goes down, you pretty much make your bet on the downside, so you recoup any of that downside loss. But at the same time, if it exactly this it's stuff like that, where it's like, if you understand what's going on and you have a specific dedicated strategy, leverage can be a decent thing. I'm not going to say it's a great thing, but it can be a good strategy theoretically. But at the same time,
15x. When you start talking 15x, like 30x, 100x,
don't take much to freaking scam you out.
Your margin's so small. But when you're talking about like 2x leverage, you know, like
3x,
there you go,
5x leverage, right? Like you have $1,000 and you're leveraging $200 against the 1,000, and smaller numbers too, right? Like don't put $1 million into anything. But like the you know, when you start to be like, okay, if I increase my pulse bags by 20% by using the liquid loans protocol, right? What are my chances of being liquidated? Or redeemed against, which, you know, this is a longer conversation, but just the risk factor of a very small margin, I think, is very low. But like when you start to leverage, like you start to make that number bigger and you're like, oh, I want 400x, 500x. I want to have 5 times as much, exposure to pulse. Like, there's a good chance something's going to happen. Now, what the thing is that happens, right? Which in the case of liquid loans or the other liquidity forks is you either get liquidated or you get redeemed against. In either case, you didn't lose all your money. So it's not the same exposure as something like BMX, where you get like literally like you could go to zero, right? It's more of a like you got cashed out at a certain point because the market went below, but you already had the cash in hand potentially. So you could even be in a better position. Just for example, with liquid loans, like let's say you put in $1,000 worth of pulse. All right. Or well, okay. We'll have to amplify that number because they have a $2,000 minimum. You put in $10,000 for the pulse, and you took out $8,000, right? And then the price of pulse crashed right down below where you would have got liquidated by a lot. Like it went down by 50%. You have $8,000 in your hand still. You don't owe them the $8,000. They don't come to collect it. They just took what you had, and you would have got liquidated on the remainder perhaps, but you still have the $8,000. And if you were to put it back into the market at that minute, you'd end up with much more pulse than you would have had otherwise.
At that minute, but if you're sleeping and the market moves against you, that's where
4 in the morning, 5 in the morning.
That's why I'm with CryptoLand. I don't do any leverage anymore. I played with a little bit on Fame when it first launched, just for shits and giggles and to know it. But other than that, I mean, the only way I like to leverage now is, like I said, if I buy a meme coin, the meme coin does a 5x, and then I'll take that and put it in the pulse. And it's like, okay, I 5x my pulse bag or 4, whatever that little bit of money I put in. That's the only way I like to play the game now. It's very low risk.
But I think there are ways to reduce risk on these things. There's ways to.
There is. I agree.
Laziness, we're talking about like a stop loss, like all those kind of things, right?
Yeah. I see the guys killing enough Fame, man. Well, there's guys, there's some of my buddies, right? Like there's some of the cabal guys, right? They're in there freaking just slaying it on Fame, and more power to them. Like seriously, more power to them. So
can I get into this?
Might as well use it if you have that skill set.
Get the skill set. Right. All it is.
He became a card counter because it was just something he intuitively knew that he liked to do it. May as well do it. So
those smart guys are the ones you're playing against, though, when you think about stuff like that, right? Like, okay, if I'm taking leverage, like if I'm going against the market, who am I trading against? You're trading against like Hexistani Dylan, right? Like, this guy, like he was born doing this stuff, right? Like,
Crypto Moo is another one.
Following their plays maybe is better than trying to trade against those guys. I don't know.
Yeah. Not my shtick, man. I'm a buy and hold guy. Buy, hold, make passive income. I'm a real estate guy, dude. That's I bring this shit right over to crypto. Like I don't want to
the casino, buy the casino, right?
Yeah,
like,
I don't want a second job anyways, man.
That's the win.
You don't need a second job trying to do this shit. When you're trading, man, and you're levered, that's a second job. So, guys, I'm gonna grab some lunch. Feel free to chill where they can find you. Fast Abdul, I put your YouTube in the comments, guys. Go and sub to Fast Abdul's new YouTube channel. I love all the good work that he does. Maybe he'll bring that asshole retardi on the show, and maybe they can get into it. That'd be a lot of fun if he did that. But subscribe to him. He brings a lot of good content. He's building. The builders are the ones that bring the value to the chain. You guys understand that, and he's one of them. And so we support him 100%, except for his friend Mr. Retardi. I don't know.
Yeah, I
about him.
guess
That was not one of my favorites. So Zenith, what man? Show yours, dude. And if you want to give me the link to your show too, man, I'll drop it in the chat. If you're able to put the link. I was on Zenith's show the other day. It was a good one. We had a great conversation for a couple hours about anything, everything of real estate, crypto, and even taxes, which was really cool.
Yeah, thanks for coming on and bringing your tax guy. That was a really good show and had a lot of good
try to
alpha in
bring
it.
him. Yeah, I don't want to answer all the tax questions, dude, because I'm like, no, ask that guy. Ask the guy that's
You're not an
smarter than
accountant,
me.
right, Corey?
What's that? He's a tax strategist, CPA. Like he's
He was good.
yeah, dude. He's been doing it for
Awesome.
like 30 years.
Yeah.
And yeah. So I wish I'd have found out about him before I moved to Puerto Rico. But hey, I'm in Puerto Rico, so this is it. This is the horse I'm going to continue to ride.
Oh no, not the tropical island. Oh no, how terrible.
I know, right? It's I love it out here. Like I said, the only time we don't love it is when the power's out for fucking 20 hours, and I got a 3-year-old who's crying. That's where it gets. That's
true.
where
All
it gets brutal.
For sure.
All right.
Well, hey, thanks for having me on. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at ZenithDI. And then the show that I run as one of the co-hosts is DGen Roundtable. So we got book club on Fridays. We got Sundays, our flagship show. We talk about news, macro events, and all the crypto news as well. And then on Wednesdays, we like to do special guests with all of you fine gentlemen and people alike. And then also we do Whiskey Wednesday segments where Fast Abdul comes on, does 7 costume changes, talks about the Camel Clan, and then we all have a beer and have a laugh.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of
Can
fun.
I come on and have like a cava or something? Like I don't drink
Oh,
whiskey
absolutely.
or alcohol. Can I just come on and yeah, okay, good. I've been sober for 5 years now, so it's
Good stuff.
so all right, cool. Frank, you want to shill anywhere? Your Twitter?
At Polancic Frank on Twitter or at Frank Conversations on Twitter. That's it.
Sub to him, guys. Frank is one of my good friends, and he brings massive value to the community. He's an organizer of community inside the community. It's amazing what he does. And Norbert, man, shill your shit, bro.
I don't have any shit, man, to shield.
I follow Norbert on Twitter. Norbert's on Twitter. We can find him.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, but like I said, I don't really go recently on Twitter too much. I like this real conversation with you, fine gentlemen. So yeah, maybe I come on the DGen Roundtable show if I can at someday.
We'd love to have you.
Yeah, it would be nice. I prefer those things, and most of the time I'm trading and I'm helping my friends. I have a small circle. We created a small trading group, and I'm helping my friends to become successful, and then we can just visit Puerto Rico and whatever, do things.
Come visit, man. Let's go.
Right now, I picked a spot where I'm sitting in front of a place which has private jets on it, and one of them has a big P on the side and it's blue, and I'm like, yeah, one day.
Real quick before you take off, have you learned a lot from becoming a trader in the last 3 to 6 months? Yeah,
Absolutely, guys, it's tremendous. It opens up your brain, and we don't just look at charts, like we check the news, we do in-depth analysis, we follow really talented guys who explain a lot to us, and then we share the ideas with each other. So yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
It's
And then
really good.
one other thing too is Zenith. We met in Vegas. Are you going to the 369 Vegas March 6th to the 9th?
Absolutely. You kidding me? That was the most fun event I've had all year. Yeah, I even made a nice little spoof ad video for RG3 to help promote the event back when we had our coupon code. If you go check out the Pulse Chain Tour website, they still have codes for 10% off all the tickets for that stuff. Yeah, I'll be out there. I'm also going to be in New York for the October 24th hearing and October 25th. I'm trying to nudge RG3 into putting me on a panel at the event, so I'm looking forward to speaking live. And I'm even going to try to speak live at the March Vegas Pulse Chain Tour event as well.
Cool. It's cool.
Awesome. Yeah. Just I know you got to go here, Corey, but I just want to say how important it is for everybody in the community to come to these events, because you meet. That's where I met Corey. You know, I met Zenith there, and then all of a sudden I met Fast in Norbert through Corey from his show. So it's like the web of connection here is really important if you want to dive deeper into everything RH related, crypto related. So I just encourage everybody to go to events and meet people and be with people. And it's really, you know, this community is like no other. I'm not kidding. I've know how to follow a community. It's not just in, like, you know, I come from a real estate background. I follow people in real estate, follow great people. This is a great community. And I really think it's important that everybody shows up in person.
I love it. I love it.
Beautiful.
Cool, guys. On that note, we're going to peace out. Remember, guys, if you want to 10x your bag on Pulse Chain, Norbert, is that you? You're
It's the airport. It's
sounds like you got a plane taking off in the background and everyone's screaming out the window. But guys, if you want to 10x your bag in Pulse Chain or in crypto, go create 10x the value in real life and bring that money in and leverage crypto for the gains that it brings, so you can bring it back into the real life, guys. I appreciate every single one of you, everyone in the comments. We all appreciate you guys. Hit the like, smash the subscribes. I see 176 of you guys watching. There's a lot of you guys on Twitter. Come off of Twitter, come and like and subscribe to actual YouTube, because that's what helps us bring the good word to you guys. Retweet the show for me, and guys, have an amazing weekend and go, how do they say, touch some grass.
And hug some trees.
Yes, hug a tree. if that's your stick.